Welcome to the So Happy Success series. It's your coach and your host, Rebecca. What is up? Today we're talking all about when you're obsessing about a particular thought or something that someone has said and you are just ready for it to do one at this point. You're really over it. So we're going to go over two tools, one that can help you in the moment and another for when you're deciding that you're ready to do the deep work. So before we get into this, then please like and subscribe. It helps so much and you'll be notified every single time I make one of these. So without further ado, if you have struggled a lot with negative thinking, my inner bitch Regina could tell you some stories, so I'm speaking from experience, whether it's been my weight or a comment that someone has made that I've attached a lot of sadness or anger to, or any time I've felt really low and like I couldn't get out of it for any particular reason, my thoughts would always become obsessive and compulsive. I couldn't stop them and they wouldn't stop coming. And it would be the silliest of reminders that would pull me back when I felt like I was doing well. And it would be, a girl popping up on social media that I was having a challenge with, or even seeing anything on social media that's related to anyone being negative, like haters or trolls. Like whenever I see those comments, my heart hurts, whether it's for me or someone else or some other creator has made something and someone's so negative. My whole soul does not love that. It can be, someone bringing up a story from my past where they don't know, but I was maybe going through a really hard time. Or it can be, halfway through eating a cinnamon roll when I said to myself I wasn't going to eat too many cakes, too many because one is an absolute necessity. It can be those moments that I would just spiral really, really hard. And I found that it's never been, the complex strategies or the million healings or tarot readings or therapy sessions that have really helped me. All those things, yes, in their own way help. But what is it that's practical and what can I really control myself? Because in the moment, that person that's maybe, your therapist or your spiritual guide or your coach maybe isn't in the room with you. What can you do then is what we're going to explore first. And then the second is a really simple strategies for getting to the root of where everything comes from so that you can take action against it and start to move on. And sometimes you have to do that before you fully understand it. So to start us off in the moment, something that I found is really, really supportive is when things are going on around you and you might be in a public place, you might be with family, and that might be a really stressful place for you. In the moment, I know everyone says take a breath, but I want to teach you exactly how to do it, because I can say, take a deep breath, and you'll be like, and that's your deep breath, and it sucked. So what I found is so much more helpful is taking 3 breaths and with the intention, not of just breathing, but of focusing my intention on just this area between my nose and my upper lip and seeing if I can feel the hairs between the two. Because this area, it's really sensitive if you poke at it, right? But it has breath going through it all day. So you don't really notice it. But if you stop for a minute and you just breathe, you can start to feel it when it's in and out through the nose. And your top lip, my top lip always starts to tingle. And it just reminds me to be centered and to be present. And the thing is that every negative emotion lingers in the body. So this is a really short way. And you can do anywhere kind of practice for releasing just that little bit of tension that's keeping you extra on edge. Now you can do this when you're in a room full of people, or if you are sitting in your room by yourself and you're thinking about, that time that you wore the same outfit as another person at a party and you're just so embarrassed, you can use it in that moment just to bring you back. And then for when you want to do the work, when you're ready to do the deep healing, then this is something that's really, really helped me. List your insecurities. You will not want to do it. Trust me, it's like open heart surgery in a way, but if you list your insecurities, I don't think I'm pretty enough. I don't believe I'm smart enough. I don't think I'm fit enough. If you start to list all of those things, everyone has slightly the same, but slightly different through your own lived experiences of the insecurities that we have, because we all have some of them. There's no one that's insecurity-less, right? Even coaches, top freaking gurus that you would listen to, there's always some form of I'm working on something. Because if we had worked on everything, if we're not growing, we're not happy. So you can't be happy if you've actually cracked the code of life and you have no insecurities. So it's not a bad thing to admit I have this insecurity. It's actually a beautiful thing to admit to yourself, I feel this way about myself. And once you have listed them all, then acknowledge them. I suggest reading them out loud. You can read them internally if you're in a situation or a place where you can't read them out loud. Maybe you're in a dorm room and you have a person that sleeps literally right next to you, or maybe you're talking about your insecurities. You don't want to do that in front of your partner, or when you're staying with family. You can do it in your own head, but give yourself the grace to acknowledge them, to read them, either way, and to freaking cry about it, or to get pissed off and angry about it, to want to shout or punch a pillow, or whatever way you want to just acknowledge, this is how I think. And it's hard to think of the things that you actually tell yourself all one after the other. It's really hard. When you're going through it, that's really challenging. But the beautiful thing is that after you've done that, directly after you've had that release of like, why is this so hard? We've all been there, sending a lot of love for when you do this. But then next to your list of insecurities, write actions that you can take. So for example, I'm not fit enough, or I'm not healthy enough, right? Your actions could be drink water, eat a piece of fruit as a snack. It could be do 5 squats every time I pick up my phone, or book the gym class, or research a new nutrition plan. Go list wild on every insecurity, things that are in your control that you can do. Because what this does is it places consciousness when you feel that way, right? When you start to feel that way again, you'll think, I can do something about it. Instead of sitting here and feeling like I'm not healthy while I'm, eating a cinnamon roll and watching Netflix, what I can do instead is I can put the cinnamon roll down, I can turn off Netflix, and I can go for a walk. Or even you're still eating the cinnamon roll and watching Netflix, but you book the gym class, like something. You can take some action in the direction of who you want to be. So these are super, super actionable, right? And I just want you to know, and this is something that really sat with me in my journey, is that the longer that you spend victim to obsessive negative thinking, the deeper the belief roots itself in you. So the deeper that insecurity roots itself within you, which means it's only getting harder. So they're both hard things to do. It's hard to live as who you are, as a negative, compulsive, insecurity-ridden thinker. But it's also hard to make change. Choose your hard. Because if you look at it logically, it doesn't seem very confusing. In the moment, it can be more challenging. So I hope that these help. They definitely helped me in my journey and continue to help me. These are things I still practice. Occasionally I'll write a new list, a new insecurity. They're popping out all the time. And I'm like, oh, dang. All right, we'll work on that now. And in those moments where everything does feel overwhelming, 3 breaths with the consciousness placed, or the intention placed between your nose and your upper lip, will be a game changer. So again, I hope this is helpful. And if you do want more support with this, you want the opportunity to have some one-to-one coaching and a community of women in the same boat as you, then check out the Confidence Compound membership. It is super exciting, a lot of intentions going in there. meditations, challenges, fun things, e-magazines, it's all getting wild. And also the opportunity to win one-to-one coaching is always there. So if you want to check it out, I'll drop the link in the show notes. And in the meantime, if no one else has told you this today, just know that I'll be over here believing in you, and I know that you can do this.